Never shit where you eat. Or is it shit where you live? Yeah. I like that better.
I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
What the hell's going on out here?
Out! Out!
Recording is in progress.
2 L's. 2 L's, one pod. This is the spin-off web series of the This is the spin-off podcast of the web series. I don't know where we are. We're at sea. This is episode 313. This is America's longest running podcast.
Correction. 314.
314. Look at that. Another one in there. I'm Al Romas. I'm at sea. That's Al Ducharme's at sea. We were supposed to be in person again this week. We would have been in Cozumel together, podcasting, drinking, and then today we could have been on Coco Cay, podcasting, drinking, but the weather gods and the podcast gods said no. So I'm on the Icon floating around heading to Miami, and that's Al. He's on the Voyager.
Of the seas.
Not sure where he is. Of the seas, well, of course. And where are you headed back to? You're out of Canaveral, I believe.
Yeah, I think we're neck and neck here. Assuming that I think we're traveling at like 20 knots, 21 knots. If you're traveling, you might be traveling 18 because your ship goes to Miami, which is south of Canaveral. So we're doing a little faster. And I think we left just before you.
Okay. We'll be in. We get it. I mean, this thing gets into Miami like at 1:30 in the morning. I mean,
that's because you were supposed to be in Coco Cay today. So they're killing time.
Right.
And you're just lucky. If you're getting in it this morning, that's because
doing nothing.
That's because your port is open because that's dedicated to your ship, right?
That's because we're the biggest, greatest, fucking baddest ship in the land.
Until
we
next
make the
week.
rules. We make the rules.
Till July.
Icon makes the rules. Until Star comes, and then this thing will be a piece of shit. No one will care. It'll just go away.
The prices drop.
It'll be doing 3 and 4 day. Yeah.
Instead of $10,000 a week, it drops down to like $39.99.
Yeah, just give it away. But and then Icon 3 will come, and it never ends. Never ends. But anyway, we got used to doing those in-person deals. I was hoping to carry that on for another week or so and back to these, but luckily it's been clear sailing, quote unquote, with the pod today.
Coincidentally, our classic episodes that run on Friday, the last 4 were all in person. And then we just did 3 in person. So it's like 7 in-person podcasts where we had done 2 over 2 years. So we did.
Right.
It's being released, time released and whatnot, but we'll have 7 almost in a row.
Yeah.
In the matter of 7 weeks.
That's not bad. That's not bad for
6
2
weeks.
people with our schedules. And then I think we have one in a couple weeks, I believe. I'm always getting confused now. You're back in the Tampa area,
right?
And I'm home during that,
which is 20 minutes away. So you just did a 2.5-hour drive to do a podcast.
I'm committed
in Cape Canaveral. So
that's right.
By the way, when I was in Cape Canaveral, I saw 2 launches of SpaceX.
Yeah, how many in your room?
Hey. Before or after coffee?
Hey now. Wow, you can go before
submarine.
Coffee. You can go before coffee. You can do one. You can knock one out before coffee. I need coffee.
I do my flaxseed in the morning, and I do my coffee. And by second coffee, sometimes first, but by second coffee, like midway through, like it's time for a launch. I tried at launch, and I'm nowhere near Connecticut.
I see. Well, when you stayed over, Kelly was like, "Is he all right? Like, he's using the bathroom a lot." Is everything okay with him? I go, no, it's not okay. There's a lot of problems.
I like to take my time in the bathroom. I like sitting down. I have my phone. I'm reading.
Yeah.
I have chorus lessons. I have the kids come in for chorus lessons. It's a big thing.
Chorus lessons.
Yeah, I
Nice.
have. Oh, do you know that? It's my side
I
hustle.
didn't know that. No, I didn't know you was. I knew you did it. I didn't know you were still doing the chorus
I'm a
lesson.
multitasker, a multi-pooper. And you're frozen for a second. You're unfrozen right
I'm
now.
back. I'm back.
Hey, so we're
I'm
trying
back.
this new thing, closed
Yeah,
caption, during our podcast
for
because
the
we
deaf,
use
for the
we
hard
use
of hearing
Zoom.
of our patrons. We have a lot of patrons who are hard of hearing, so we have to do we have to do this.
Well, I just don't know how it's going to show up because when we record, I'm on the bottom, you're at the top. And
Hey now, you got that right.
but the orientation changes when we post it, we go side by side. So this closed caption actually could be covering one of our faces. I don't know.
Oh, you fucker.
I have no idea. We're going to find out.
Well, we'll find out, and I don't know. I've never seen this yet. This is one of their new features, I guess. The Zoom. Every
It
time
might
we
not
do
even
this,
exist. It might go away. It might be just for us. But I'm thinking for people that want to listen to the podcast that don't have their earbuds or headphones, they can read it, So fuck you.
Well, you're. If you think there's anyone who listens to us is actually going to read our podcast, we get trouble people listening to it. For God's sake,
We
I'm
get a
going to
lot
go
of
read their podcast.
we get some foreign
We do some foreign nationals
listeners,
that
and
are
they
tricky people.
they might want to be able to try reading in English to see if it will help them harness the English language better. I
They
don't
should
know.
try at least. When I was in Miami just last week, I don't know if I told this story in the pod or not, but I got my receipt because I ran a car and I gas it up, and then I get the receipt and I get reimbursed from Royal Caribbean. But anyway, the gas station, of course, the receipt didn't come out, so so you got to go in, and it's Miami. It's like, the windows have bars on it, and it's one of these
Right.
gas stations near the airport. So I go in. Were you there? That sounds exactly like. So I go up to
Tell
her.
him for the green card. I'm gonna cut him up real good.
They literally have like the little jail bars down in front of her, and I go, "Excuse me," and she can't speak English, of course, because we're in Miami, in America. And I go, "Can I get a receipt for number 5?" And that took about 4 minutes, literally, of just what? I go, a receipt, and I had to do like paper. I'm like,
Isn't
number
it
5
Recito?
with the
It's not
receipt,
Recito.
Recito. No, I don't think it's Recito. I love the ugly American. Just get loud and say "oh" at the end of the shit.
Oh, at the end. Bathroom-o, toilet
mm-hmm. But
Baño. Baño.
but we were
Actually,
just
the word baño ends with an
Banyo's
O.
bathroom. Isn't Banyo's bathroom? You're right.
That's what I'm saying. It ends in an O, so go
Ends
fuck
with
yourself.
an O. Exactly. Go fuck yourselves. So
Go fuck yourselves.
but our I don't want to sound like a 1,000-year-old man, but our grandparents came over here and learned the goddamn language.
That's
And
right.
that was that. That was that.
My grandparents, their parents migrated from Ireland
The
and learned how to
Ducharmes?
speak English, American English.
Okay. I thought you were French.
Well, French, Canadian, and Irish. So my mother's
yeah.
side, their
What French Canadian?
her great grandparents or her grandparents on my mother's side migrated from Ireland, and my father's side from Montreal, Canada.
Straight to Rhode Island. They came down from Canada, and did they hit the Ocean State?
I think they hit Worcester, Massachusetts first, which has a big French Canadian population, or did, and then they migrated south to Rhode Island, where again they could live the American dream.
So they could prosper.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
They started their own businesses, and
it was open. I always think about, wouldn't you love to live in those that like where you could invent shit, and it was like people would go, "Oh my god, that's fantastic!" Now you invent things, and 9 people go, "Yeah, it's already been made. We already have that." I'm like, what?
Yes, 3D printers.
The guy
AI.
That CEO killer printed his gun.
Yep.
And assassinated a guy on the street with a 3D gun.
Yep. He said The
You
first
can do
time
that
he
now?
tried it, he ran out of ink, so he had to go to Staples and get ink so he could finish printing his 3D gun.
See what Al did? That's fun.
It's all right.
That was fun. I didn't know that was the thing. I mean, I know you could 3D print I always hear this. I don't really know what it means. It's like someone goes, "Yeah, I made a house out of a 3D printer." I'm like, "Well, how do you
Yeah,
do that? Is
they
that a
do. They
house? Is it a real house?
well, it's components. They
It's
have the
not a
industrial
house."
printers, which
Yeah,
it's lasers and whatnot,
right.
and it's carving
But
out artificial materials,
mm,
man-made, and then
mm,
they put them together like blocks, and they go, "Look, I printed my house." No, you didn't. You
right.
printed a
That's what I
block,
mean.
and then you had to
That's what I
assemble
mean.
it. Yeah,
That's what I mean.
yeah.
Now, Luigi, he knew how to make a gun. Luigi, what are you doing down there in the basement? Oh,
Ah,
Mama, shut up. Making me pasta, making my gun. And his
watch the
parents,
hair. Watch the hair.
his parents didn't think for a second, like, was he living at home? I don't know the details of this kid,
He comes from
obviously.
an
I'm just,
affluent family who are
right.
they have resorts and senior homes,
Well, I
nursing
stayed in
homes,
Maryland when I would
and a
visit.
senior home. You
When
got
I
a
would visit
discount.
my mother and sister, I stayed at Turk Valley, and that's one of his family's properties.
Oh my goodness!
And my niece, or
And
I'm not
you're
sure, they know or somebody connected to him through that, or they know the school. I don't know, but there was a lot going on with them back and
so
forth
you're
because
6 degrees from
they were
separation,
aware of
right?
this kid,
Six
this
degrees
guy.
of separation. 6 degrees of,
True,
or
yeah, because and then we saw Footloose, and then that was Kevin Bacon. So yeah, but Luigi. Now here's the thing. I forgot you were a bit of a dancer in your day.
I
That's
was.
always forgotten. We skim by that, but you were quite light on your feet as you still are.
Well,
Light in the loafers
the straight dancers on these
don't
cruise
exist.
lines,
Oh,
when you find one, they're
hmm.
banging all of these hot little dancers
Well,
because all
hell
the gay
yeah,
guys are
they're
banging one
starved.
another. So I
That's
wish
right.
I missed my calling, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, goddamn right. I always say I regret not do. I wanted, here's the thing for people, if you're young, just do. You should always do it. I always wanted to be in a drama club in theater in high school, and I didn't. I
Mm.
didn't do it because I was
Hmm.
afraid I was going to be
Of
called a
stigma.
fag. That
Well,
was
your
it.
buddy Al
It's so
wasn't, and he
stupid.
was in drama school in
Well, Al
high
was and
school,
was.
and I majored in theater in college.
He's
And
either ballsy or gay as hell. You make the decision, folks.
now, what is the deal? That old
Hmm?
thing, right? That
The
old
what?
thing that
The old thing.
never
It
mind.
is. No, but
The
if you go down like
stigmas.
a stigma, but like Kelly likes John Travolta, big John Travolta fan. I always kid her. I go, he's gay, but she won't accept it. And I'm like, exactly. So
Rock
I go,
Hudson.
I've given her examples though, and I go, look, John Travolta quit high school, dropped out of high school, and told his parents, I'm going to Broadway. Give me a year to make it. And he was singing and dancing. Now, no, I'm great for him, but there's no 17-year-old straight boy who says, I'm going to Broadway to sing and dance. Give me a year. It doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. So there you go. That's,
What
although
was
Al,
the
it looks like he might
what
disagree.
was the Scottish or the Irish movie that they made into a Broadway show about the dancer? Um,
The Full Monty, wasn't that it?
no, it's a kid's name, and he just has that. I got to dance, and he lives in a coal miner, a miner's town,
Billy Elliot?
Billy Elliot. Now,
Yeah.
that's an example
Huge
of
homo.
no. On the
I think
contrary,
I think he was.
I
No, I didn't
knew
see it. I didn't see this
I knew a
show.
few people,
Yeah, I bet you did.
and the late Preston Simpson,
Oh.
comedian but dancer. Um,
Preston?
yeah,
Well, that's a
and
yeah. We
and
don't hear a
he
lot anymore.
married beautiful gal, and
Hmm.
he died prematurely,
Yeah.
cancer. But he was that guy. He had the bug, and we did
Oh,
a gig in where were we? San Antonio, Texas. We're at the it just converted into the Improv. It was the
Riverwalk.
Riverwalk Comedy Club. Then they made it
Yeah.
into an Improv. We
Yeah.
worked there together during the playoffs, and he's a big Steelers fan. He was a big Steelers fan, and of course, I was a New England fan, and they were playing one another in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots won, and
Yeah. Cheated.
he
Go
said,
ahead.
he had danced on Broadway. He did some stuff, and he's like, dude, he goes, I got to dance. He goes, I got to dance. Will you come with me to a dance club?
What's this? I got
So we
dance.
went. We crossed.
What is this guy?
Crossed the street. We went to a
Was it a
dance club.
1940s musical? I got to
He
dance.
walks up to the DJ. He goes, "Can you play this music?" The guy goes, "Yeah, all right,
Wow.
play it." He's playing music. Nobody's on the dance floor. Nobody.
What's wrong
Place
with
is
this
packed. It's got like
Preston.
100 women and 50 guys.
I see what Preston's doing.
So he goes up
Yeah.
on the floor. He's got his wedding band on and everything. He's up on the floor. He just
Wedding band.
starts dancing to the music.
Preston's not
All
married.
of a sudden, 1 woman, 2 women, 3 women, 5 women,
Yeah.
10 women. All of a sudden, the guys
Right.
are like, "We're here to get laid." All of a sudden, 10 guys come out.
Right.
Now it's packed. He got that room going, man.
Yeah. Because
And
he's
it was
gay.
and it was legit. And then the
I
girls
don't
like
buy
all
it.
over him after. He goes, "Oh, I'm married, girls." He danced like 3 or 4 songs. We had a couple of drinks, and we left. We went back to the condo.
Wow.
And
I mean,
wooka.
I mean,
You weren't looking. Wooka, wooka,
I understand what that means. I know the noise. I don't have to look. What else is that? Wooka. You're not looking at my visual. I know what wooka means.
All right. Wooka.
Amazing. I don't know. I don't buy the story, to be honest. But Preston's was not
great
straight.
guy, and
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Rest in peace, Preston. That you're making a point, I think, when you name your kid Preston. Don't you find that you're making a statement? Preston, you're kind of saying my kid's not going to be, digging ditches and laying.
The man is
be
no
an
longer
oil.
with us. We stopped
Not
speaking.
him. No, I'm saying the name itself, not him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
The name.
I don't know. He may have acquired the name later himself. I don't know.
I'm just saying. If you name your baby Preston,
What is the definition of Preston? What does it derive
Well, he's
from?
destined for big things. I don't think Preston's going to, work in a steel mill. I think Preston is, white collar. I think it's so. I'm saying I'm complimenting. It's a good.
No, I think he's from working class, and he said,
Oh.
"I have the dancing bug,"
Wow.
and he followed it. He danced on Broadway. He
Wow.
He did stand-up comedy, and he did both.
Awesome. Good for him. And I wish I could, not that I wanted to dance, but I wanted to do plays. But I was a coward. I was a coward there. I couldn't do it.
I did about a dozen college productions. I did a couple of high school productions, and I did a couple of productions after college. But
what'd you do in high school? What was your
we did like a variety sketch show, which was like SNL. So I got to be in like 5 sketches.
Right.
And I was over the top. No, me.
You?
Wooka.
Really? People are like, why is he doing wooka? I can't believe you're a little over the top. What? But you didn't do any classics like Death of a Salesman or did you play Willie Loman? That kind of thing.
I did those scenes in like acting classes in New York City.
Were you Biff?
No,
I see you as a Biff
from Back to the Future.
No, Death of a Salesman. You don't even read the play.
Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
You didn't read the goddamn play.
We did, but people were doing scenes from Death of a Salesman, but I just thought it was cliche, so I did other scenes from other. But I was in a full production of The Seagull. Chekhov.
Wow.
How about that? I was Dr. Dorn.
Oh.
And I had, when my hair was much fuller and almost like a fro, they put silver and gray throughout.
Uh-huh.
And I grew a beard, and they graded it up so I look like, and put some monocles on, and I from the audience I look like this do we have guy in his 50s. No, that would be Nancy Chatty. Nancy Chatty she always had a camera. no phones. She had, whatever it was, a
Right.
Pentex or something. And she
Chatty,
Nancy Chatty.
like
Yeah,
chatty, like a
yes.
chatty.
Yep.
CHATT,
Yeah,
chatty, or
I did a few
hmm,
productions with her. I did The Rivals, which was a farce,
never
classical
heard of it.
farce.
Never heard of it. How about
I was
Sound
in
of
a couple of
Music?
musicals. I was in a
I
couple of
could see you. I
musicals.
could see you singing "The Hills Are Alive."
The
I could see that. Yeah.
hills are alive with the sound of wooka wooka wooka.
Wooka wooka wooka. Exactly. We got a clip.
We got a clip.
You're. It sounds like Julia Child singing "Sound of
Yes,
Music."
of course. It's over the top. Al Ducharme. Hello.
Oh my God! There we
Very
go.
broad, but I'm not a broad.
Blood.
Sorry, I had 2 cups of coffee before we started this.
I got this one. I got a late morning. We did 2 shows last night, and then I've been joining them. I've been joining the boys for a cigar after shows. Victor and Gary. So,
Oh, Gary, you're with Gary. Gary smokes more than you.
oh yes, yeah, he does. Which I'm
Gary
actually.
lights a cigar,
Mhm,
turns off his cabin light, and goes to sleep.
mhm. Yeah. Not far from the truth. And same with Victor Key, who's renowned. People could YouTube this guy. He's all over this Ukrainian ice skating star. And it's funny, like how he's, the people on YouTube, the comments, everyone loves this guy and he's world known. But here, just a guy, nobody knows him. You know what I mean? Just having a cigar. Good guy. But anyway, we've been up there late night doing that after shows. So this is my first Yeti of coffee. Waiting for it to kick in a bit. And hey, did you notice the last time we were together, I was having a
Oh yeah, you had
reaction.
Yeah, did you find out?
I
Get
was
to the
having
bottom
some
of
sort of
that?
an allergy. Never got to the bottom of it. But I went to Publix and I talked to the pharmacist.
Right.
And I said, I'm having this reaction to this facial scrub bullshit. And he goes, yeah, there's not much you can do. He goes, Vaseline. Put Vaseline on it. And I was like,
And you had
Vaseline?
plenty of that
I got some Vaseline at home.
from when you sailed with
and,
Jim David.
What? I don't know who that is. And I put Vaseline on it. And
Wooka 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 wooka.
wooka wooka wooka. And we got a title. And then Kelly was saying Benadryl. So I go to the pharmacist,
Yes.
Benadryl, and he goes, no, that doesn't do anything.
Really?
And I go, well, that's what he said, but it did work. I took the Benadryl; it seemed to work.
I go with Kelly. Kelly,
I give her credit. She's
that
in the medical
pharmacist is
field.
and that guy works at Publix, so that means
That's
he didn't
right.
pass the bar. He eats the candy
That's right.
bars.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that meant. I would go with Kelly on that.
He's got an attitude too, like he's a doctor. Like, because I talked to the
He's
I go to the
pissed
girl, the girl
off
goes,
because he's
like,
not.
right. She goes, oh, and he's like, yeah, Benadryl won't do anything. He goes, I don't know, Vaseline. He walks away. It's like he can't be bothered. It's like, dude, you're putting pills in a bottle.
This guy works in a boxing gym. He works in a fucking boxing gym. Cut me, Mick. Vaseline.
It worked, though. It worked. It all went down. It took about a week.
The Benadryl worked, or the Vaseline?
Well, I did both.
Yeah, hit him with both.
Hit him with both. But it was a little intimidating because, if you work in an office or whatever, who gives a shit? But we are in the club is not big, so you're on a little stage, 200 people in front, and then you're going to walk out there with bags under your eyes and swelling. You know what I mean? It's like
this is the moneymaker.
The minute you walk on,
this is the fucking moneymaker right here.
Goddamn right. And when you walk on stage, everyone's immediately they're judging you, whether it's your shoes, your shirt, whatever. They're judging you. They're like, "Oh, what the fuck's going on here?" And if you don't want to start with oh shit, look at that guy's face, bags under,
Yeah,
so,
does he have AIDS?
Well, I do. That was the point I wanted to get to in this story.
And that's when the podcast took a turn.
I have come down
wooka.
I'm on that. I did a little too much wooka, and I got hibba, and I'm in trouble.
I think I'm in trouble.
Wasn't that was the old that was the David Spade joke. One of the got in trouble, not in trouble, but people when he was on Weekend Update. back in the day. He did the Hollywood Minute, and he had a picture of downtown Julie Brown from MTV. He just pictured or something. He goes, and her thing was wubba wubba wubba, and he sees the picture flash. He goes wubba wubba wubba. My career's in trouble, trouble, trouble. And then right after that was the Eddie Murphy picture, and he goes, "Look, kids, a fading star." And that's what Murphy called them. Was like, "I'm going to come down there and fucking kill you." You know, you're only on that show because of me. That show exists because of me. Fuck you. And Spade was scared shitless for a long time.
Well, those guys say things. Sometimes they get the call. They get the
sometimes. Well, fuck around and find out, right? I mean, every now and then, there's you gotta answer. So
he was intimidated by Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson said, "Hey, I want to ask your girlfriend out." Lara Flynn Boyle, David Spade and Lara Flynn Boyle were dating, and he said, "Can I?" He goes, "Yeah, go ahead." And then she said, "Yeah." She went out with him on a date and he started banging her. That's the story.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can imagine Jack Nicholson can pull David Spade's girlfriend.
That's what he said. He said, he goes, he was a big star. I'm just coming out of SNL.
Fucking Jack.
You know, he goes, I'm not,
sure.
He goes, I'm just taking off. He's an established A-lister movie star. I'm a comedian, funny guy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, she's not going to do, she's my girlfriend. She fucking blew Jack Nicholson.
Well, goddamn right. I would. Why not? Wouldn't you? I would. You did. You did.
If Jack said, you can't handle it, I'm like, I can handle it, man.
Oh, there you go. We're getting a lot of impressions of this show. This is a good one. Feed this guy coffee and start at noon next again. It's he's got impressions. He's got some life. I like it. What's that? What do we got? I'm trying to read. Oh, your espresso. You travel with coffee? I've been thinking of it. I haven't.
This is all you do. If the coffee, the swill coffee, because coffee is very expensive now, even on the ships with our discounts, it's like $5.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, at least. So if you have a couple a day, you know what I mean? All of a sudden.
Yeah, this one wasn't bad today, but you gamble. It's just like I go down there. Some days it's swill, some days it's drinkable. It's never really delish.
There's no consistency on most of the ships. So like the cafe is, it's been great all week. So I had to add this only once when I went up to the Windjammer. I got a bad canister. It was just, so I put just a little bit, like a half a teaspoon, and it just lifts it and makes it drinkable.
Now, speaking of the Windjammer and all these different things, how long have you been out right now? You left your home when? Because it seems like you're on this never-ending. You're on a never-ending cruise here with many different ships involved, and a little 4-dayer at Clearwater. But
I've been on 4 different lines.
4 different lines.
Yeah, it's 2 months. I'm going home tomorrow for 48 hours, and then I come back for 2 weeks. And then I'm home for 4 days, and then I'm out for 2 weeks. It's crazy.
Whoa. Yeah. But when you leave for 48 hours, are you coming back to Florida, or I mean, is that worth it? I guess it might be worth it going home for 48.
It's about volume. It's about volume. We're just trying to that fucking 18 months of no comedy work.
Yeah.
Still resonates. I know it's coming up on 5 years, but
no, it resonates all right.
Yeah. I'm like,
it was the biggest
I get an email. I'm like, yes,
of our life. Yeah. I hear you.
Anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. But will your wife be home when you get home for that 48?
Will she be home for Christmas? No, she is on her way to the airport. She just arrived at the airport, LAX, and she's flying to Miami.
Oh, my. Really?
What I should have done is just gone to Miami and wooka, wooka, wooka.
Rendezvous with a little, wooka, wooka.
And we've done that before. And I don't know. We missed it somehow, or I think maybe
Yeah.
she had this
Maybe she
offer
took this
later.
late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she took this
Yeah.
late, and I think I already put in my travel. But the smart thing would
Right.
have been for me to stay here, just stay over in Miami for 2 nights, and then
48. Well, that's, yeah.
Canaveral.
I mean, I don't know.
I could have
I'm
rented a
surprised.
car. I could have rented a car for 2 days and
Right.
saved the cruise
I
line
mean,
a fortune on flights and hotels. I would have stayed with my
that's a hell
wife
of a
one
lot
night.
easier.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I probably should have just reached out and said change it, but they're like, we're going to charge you $250 to change your
Yeah.
flight. I'm like, what?
Right.
Why? It doesn't cost you anything.
No reason. No.
No,
Well, you're
it's because
inconvenience.
it's an inconvenience fee, but it takes the person 4 minutes.
Hmm.
They're getting a salary or an hourly rate, but the
Right.
company will make $240.
Yeah. I
And
get it.
that's why CEOs get assassinated.
Yeah. Well, with the 3D gun, that was wild, man. Do you think that guy at McDonald's, does he get the reward? Because it's a
I thought it
different
was a
state.
girl.
Well, New York State put the reward out, though, and he was caught in Pennsylvania. Do you think that reward money gets transferred to Pennsylvania? Hmm.
I don't know, but it's a loophole, right?
It's a loophole. And now that was a customer, right? The customer spotted him and then told a
I heard
worker,
it
and
was
then
a
the worker
female
called.
worker. Oh, see, now that more details have come out.
That's what I heard. Yeah,
Okay.
I heard it was, but that's very, I mean, we all travel and everything. I'm always amazed by that. Like, I don't, maybe I don't look at people carefully, but I don't think I could ever spot someone who
All
I
right.
saw on the news, or do you have a story? Have you
Altoona,
spotted someone?
Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Uh-oh, Al
The
spotted a
biggest
wanted
story. It's
felon.
on there's televisions everywhere now, right?
Right.
It's like
Well,
constantly seeing it. This guy
yeah.
he could be coming right here to Altoona. That guy looks just like him. And if it wasn't him, the cops would have questioned him and it could have ruined
Right.
his
But
life.
do you think you could see someone and then put that in your brain, go, hey, that looks like the guy who shot the guy, and I'm going to
You got to
let someone
remember,
know.
the
I
police and the
couldn't.
FBI are getting hundreds of phone calls. I think I saw him. And
Hmm.
they have to kind of act on something that's
Hmm.
feasible. So if they
Hmm.
say, hey, if they throw out the dragnet,
Yeah, but I'm
and they're
asking you, do you think
what?
you
No, personally,
could put that? I couldn't. I know that.
no.
I couldn't spot someone in a booth at McDonald's and go, that guy looks like the guy from the poster. I should.
Even if I
That
said
wouldn't
that, I would
happen.
never act on it. I'm not going to go up. I go, I
No,
think that's the guy. I would have been, wow, that
no.
guy looked like him. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh,
Yeah,
24 hours later, that was him.
right.
I missed out on 10 grand.
There was a guy in
10 grand
Tampa
is the
a few
reward, by the
years
way.
ago. I know. Well, no, it
$10,000.
went up to 60. Went up to 60.
See, you have your finger on the pulse of this story.
I do. I have my finger on the pulse of other things. In Tampa, a few years ago, there was a guy who was shooting people at bus stops. So these poor people working in the morning, going on a bus, and he would shoot them random, like a sniper. Anyway, they ended up with a picture of him from a street camera. Young, thin, black kid. Anyway, he goes to a McDonald's right off Ybor. I think I pointed this McDonald's out to you when we were going to Ybor.
Mhm.
But he was in McDonald's, and one of the workers there was like looking at him and started talking to him a little bit, and then called the police and said, "This guy looks like the sniper pictures." They came to the McDonald's, and he had his bag. He had the gun in the bag. He had money. He was right. He was having a McDonald's, and then he was going to leave town. And he stopped from. Now, again, the question to you, Al Ducharme: drive-through? You don't go through the drive-through? You're the most wanted guy in the state.
If he's in a vehicle, I would put the
Right.
glasses, the hat on,
Right. Of course.
go through the drive-through.
What? How can
Don't do the
you're
hoodie.
shooting
Don't do
people?
the hoodie draws attention. Put the hoodie down.
The
Dude.
most wanted guy in
This
Florida.
guy, when he went
And
into
he's sitting in a
McDonald's,
McDonald's having lunch.
McDonald's is the place to capture these people. Now,
That's
Luigi,
right.
he got off of a bus,
That's right.
He got off of a bus and he was going in.
He got off of a bus.
So he
Yeah.
couldn't do the drive-through because they won't serve you on foot at a drive-through. But was he wearing a mask? Did I see that? A picture of him at McDonald's
I thought he
wearing a
had
mask?
And
then he took it off to eat?
I didn't see the mask at McDonald's, but it's possible.
I saw one of the online things showed him at McDonald's, this, eating at McDonald's, and it was him with the mask on. I'm like,
Mm,
a mask these days draws attention
right.
because very few people wear the masks now.
Fucking weirdo.
And then you automatically
Yeah.
go to them. You're like,
Right.
so
Yeah.
he's thinking I'm going to cover up my identity, but you're in
That's a good
Pennsylvania
point.
where people do not wear fucking masks.
Trump country. Yeah. Yeah. A good point. That's a good point. So the mask makes you stand
I
out more.
think I think
There
it
you
he
go.
made a
That's a
mistake.
good point. I believe you're right. Where now he didn't have a car. Where is he going anyway without a car? You know what I mean? He didn't have a car. He got off the bus.
He's just trying to shake his tail.
I know, but where are you going? Eventually, you got to get. I mean, the plan isn't great. I mean, you got away. That's pretty impressive to shoot someone, get on a bike, get on a bus, get out of state. Pretty good. But it didn't seem like you had. Where are you going after that? You have a car set up in Pennsylvania, ready to drive to Canada, or I don't
By the way,
understand
when he got on the bike,
thinking.
when he left Central Park and he
Yeah,
got on a bike, a rental
yeah.
bike, he went down West 85th Street and Columbus, right where my old apartment was. He went by my old apartment in a brownstone.
Oh,
So here you
well,
are, you're at the resort in Maryland that his family owns, and then he
Surf
rides by
Valley.
my apartment, my old
It's
apartment.
weird. It's really
6 degrees of
it
separation,
is
man.
6 degrees. But Kevin Bacon, how do we put him in this?
His wife
It-
Kara blew me. No, she didn't blow me. She gave me a handy.
oh, I I wish that story was true. I'd love
I
to.
know that would have been great.
It'd be fucking awesome. We put the thumbnail of you and her, and then her head tilted a little bit, and then boom, huge downloads, load.
Loads, loads, loads. Lo- Like Max Headroom.
Putting another load. We're frozen, buddy. We're
Yeah,
frozen.
we're unfrozen now. It came back.
Hey, we're back. We're
Have
back.
have
Unfrozen
patience.
caveman.
Your buddy Al's going to spend a couple extra minutes in editing. Big deal.
Okay.
By the
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
we both failed with our wireless microphones with the handles on them. It made my editing a fucking nightmare with the audio levels. But I trained you when we were in Cape Canaveral. I said, keep the microphone at this distance. And when you turn your head, turn the microphone with you. Because there's a lot of, as soon as we started rolling, you went just like this. Your mouth is right up on it. And
sound
what
like
those
Teddy.
microphones do is when it gets that loud, it tries to lower the intake. It has this automatic thing that it does. It cuts down the input volume. And then all of a sudden, I'm way in the distance talking like this. So I had to go in and lower yours and raise
That was my
mine
plan. That's my
tediously.
plan. That's right. Me loud, you soft. That's the plan. Finally catching on. Fuck. God damn, it took you 3 years, 4 years.
But we both
It's
were
been-
guilty of turning our head without moving the mic.
Yeah, we suck. Well, it's only 313 episodes. We'll get it
14,
eventually.
14.
314. We'll get it eventually. I did a show the other night. This woman's in the front row by herself. And anyway, not laughing. And I said something and then she smiled or whatever. And I go, oh, where are you from? And she's like, I am from Latvia, which, I don't really know where Latvia is, but
It's
really
nowhere near Latvia.
Right. So I go, whatever I said, I forget now, but I made believe I didn't know anything. And so, because you appear dumb, it's funnier. So anyway, she didn't really laugh and I couldn't tell if it was a language thing. So yesterday I was having a cigar and she came up to me and she goes, oh, you're the comedian. I go, yeah. And I didn't recognize her. And then she goes, I am from Latvia. And I go, oh, right. Okay. And she goes, do you really not know where it is? And I go, no, I know where it is. I was just kidding, just to goof around. And she goes, oh, so for humor. I go, I know. I mean, you talking like this woman has no sense. The way it was like that dead kind of, oh, for humor. And I go, yeah. I go, that's pretty much for humor. And then she goes, your shows tonight? I go, I have 2 tonight, and I have 1 the next day. And she goes, where's that? In the club? I go, no, in the theater. She goes, I will be there.
And you better make her laugh and don't make fun of her. Now, I told you the story on the podcast before. There were 2 Russian girls sitting in the front row in Queens. I was doing like a little one-nighter. One side of the place was a dance club. You go through the doors, and they had this area for stand-up comedy. And 2 Russian girls were sitting there talking very loud. So I went in at them and like, da, 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 da. The audience laughs. The Russian girl says, I'm going to go get my boyfriend, and he's coming back and he's going to kill you. And she gets up and she was crying. Apparently she was in this deep Russian conversation with her friend, confiding in her about something.
I thought she said she was going to kill you. He was going to kill you.
She said, I'm going to go get my boyfriend and he's going to kill you.
Kill
so
who?
She gets up
you?
and leaves.
Why
And
is he gonna kill you?
Because I made fun of her. Because she was speaking loudly in a full conversation with her friend in the front row. And it was distracting. Right. And all the customers are going, shh, shh. And they're like, shh, yourself. So they came and had this conversation in the front row. And I'm a comedian. I did my thing. I made fun of them. The rest of the crowd laughs. It's supposed to quiet them down so I can continue my performance. And she gets up crying. She says, I'm going to get my boyfriend and he's going to kill you. And he leaves. And she leaves, rather, to go get him. Yeah. And Quentin Heggs, who was producing the show, the late Quentin Heggs.
The late.
He goes, Al, you got to go. You got to leave. I said, what? He goes, no. Right. He's going to come back and kill you. She goes, I know who he is. He's Russian mob.
He's really going to kill you.
And he's going to kill you. You got to leave. You got to go now, get in a taxi and get out of here. I go,
you go now. Wow.
And he said, yes, he came back looking for you. He's going to beat you up.
And Queens, the Russian mob, and especially back a few years ago. Hell yeah. That would have been wild, man. I'd be doing this pod right now with a different dude. Oh, it might have been better. I mean, I'm glad you survived, but I'm just thinking I could have been,
What the hell?
Well, I know. I'm happy you're here. Goddamn, but I'm just saying.
And that was their last podcast.
Peace.
So long, Al. Have a good trip.
Iceberg, dead ahead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
This is the 2 Al's 1 Pod podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
All right.
Okay, show.
Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Patreon.com/2Als1Pod.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.